welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to review Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, oh my goodness, we've been waiting for this movie. First of all, that trailer was one of the all-time best MCU trailers. It's definitely up there with like the Endgame, Infinity War, and a couple other trailers. I think the Thor Ragnarok trailer and a few other trailers were great. That trailer was amazing. And, you know, there's a lot around this movie. A lot. And there's already some negativity around it, and the movie is kind of already another one of those. This movie is another one of those. What's the word I'm looking for? Polarizing films, so to speak, because there are people who love it, and then there are people who think it's okay. I haven't really seen a lot of people who think it's a bad movie, though. I haven't seen a lot of people who think like it's a bad movie. I haven't seen any of that. You either love it or you think it's a pretty good, or you think it's a pretty good movie, but you don't think it's like amazing or anything. You, like I say, you either love it or think it's a decent movie, or think it's a pretty solid in addition to the MCU. It's good. So, like, I'm not gonna bullshit with you guys. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. And personally, I'm not sure if I think it's better than the original, but the original was really good. It was really great. Like, the original was, Best Picture nominee. I don't know if it's as good as that. In certain aspects, it is better, but in other aspects, I'm not sure. But man, like, this movie had a lot going against it that no other movie in the MCU, that no other comic book movie in general really had going against it. Like when Heath Ledger died, I can't remember if it was before or after The Dark Knight came out, but if it was before, I don't remember hearing a lot of people like upset, like, oh my gosh, like, we're gonna recast, like, I don't remember people being, like, people were anticipating it. And this movie's in the same category with like, it's more in line with Paul Walker's death. Someone who was an active part of a major billion-dollar franchise passing away before they got the chance to actually do the film, and then but unlike that, this happened before the movie ever came out, so they were able to work it into the script. And there's a lot of people who are going to be angry at this movie no matter what. There's a lot of people who are not going to give this movie a fair shake. I see them. I see them. And, you see them on Twitter. You see them all over if you're on those social media platforms. People who you already knew from the get-go were going into this movie with an agenda. I mean, look. This movie's got multiple people going at it with an agenda. It's got racist people, it's got sexist people, it's got MCU haters, and then it has this other section, which is the recast T'Challa people. So this movie had so much going against it, more than any other MCU movie, really. And the question was, how were they going to handle T'Challa's death? We knew they were going to do it, we knew it was going to go down, but the question was, how are they going to handle it? Now, there was a lot of rumors about how. But the way they ended up handling it was so much better than I imagined. They worked it so well into the script and so well into the story that, like, it was art fusing with real life. I don't know how to describe it. It was art fusing, was it art imitating life? It was beautiful the way they ended up doing it, because even the vibe they ended up doing it, the way they ended up doing it, which I don't, maybe I'll post up a spoiler for it, maybe I won't, I'm not sure yet, but I'm probably gonna spoil the beginning, because in the beginning, like, it was very human, because they ended up, because I was curious how they're gonna do this, but it turns out the way they ended up doing it was something along the lines of, apparently when he came back from the blip, T'Challa, when he returned, the heart-shaped herb was no longer in his system. And since it was no longer in his system, he was susceptible to normal human diseases. And he got something. They never disclosed what the disease was, but the vibe you got, and throughout the course of the film, there's even more clues to it, is it's something. It's either cancer or something very similar to cancer, because he was dying slowly. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's something along the lines of, because like, the Infinity Stones were just popping in Avengers Endgame. So it is not completely out of the realm of possibility that he got whatever he got at the end of Endgame, and like, his powers were slowly fading and it just kind of set in and he got cancer or something. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility that that's what happened. It could have, like, that he got it then. Either way, he got some type of disease, like a real, like, I don't know, they didn't say rare, but a disease that hasn't gotten a cure yet. And they couldn't find one. And the beginning of the movie is so heartbreaking because, you see Shuri just viciously, just really trying to figure out a way to recreate the heart-shaped herb so that he can take it so that he can heal. Because whatever he got, it's uncurable. So it's probably cancer. Like they didn't say cancer, but the vibe you got was it was cancer. Though it must have been a cancer that was acting real fucking fast, though. But I digress. It was long enough that he could do other things. I don't want to spoil everything, but long enough that he got sick and he was dying long enough that he could talk to people and make preparations and, and stuff. So clearly it wasn't like that, it wasn't like some type of like instant kill disease he got, but I digress. That's kind of their explanation, is apparently when he came back from the blip, he lost the abilities from the heart-shaped herb left him eventually. Maybe not immediately, but eventually it left him. And obviously Killmonger destroyed all the heart-shaped herbs, so they don't have it anymore. And we were all curious about what they were going to do about that. It wasn't really that big of a deal at the time in the first Black Panther, because it was like, well, I mean, T'Challa has it in his system now. He just, he's going to be the main character of all these movies anyways. It's not like we need to worry about anyone else getting it. But, came to fruition there at the beginning. And, like I said, I don't want to spoil everything. I might talk about it again tomorrow or on Monday, or I'll probably review it and just spoiler and post it up on, like, Monday. But the acting was great. The CGI was leagues better than it was in the first movie. Very fun action, very amazingly acted, especially from Angela Bassett and the actor who plays Namor. They did a fantastic job. Shuri, I always forget that now. Why am I blanking on the actress's name? Fucking Letitia Wright. I think it's Letitia Wright. She did an amazing job in this. She really stepped her game up in this. And it's one of those movies where it does something, it does a sort of trope that I love in any film, which is the character who is unprepared for this position going through a crucible and being prepared for it now. Like, the character starting in one place and being like, I'm not ready to be what you asking me to be, I'm not ready to be this ruler, I'm not ready to be this. And by the end of the movie, it's like, you are ready. You have it in you. You can do it. And that journey for Shuri was fantastic. I love that journey for Shuri. Other little side characters, Everett Ross, Riri Williams makes an appearance in this, and it's great to see her get a good idea of her personality before her show comes out. Ironheart is coming out very soon. I think it wrapped. So it should be coming out next year sometime, maybe the end of next year, so we'll get to see her again. She will be back. But the star, man, my boy Namor! Fuck! You guys don't know how long I've been waiting for Namor! Been waiting years for this shit. I've been waiting for Namor as long as I was waiting for Black Panther. For years, I would talk about Namor. There's a list of characters I talk about all the time, and I'm like, these characters are awesome, and they need to be on the screen. Almost all of them have been on the screen now. Almost every single character that I think that character is awesome has been on the screen, and Namor was one of them. He was Black Panther and Namor were two of them. And I can't believe, and they did, and I was down for this whole Aztecian, vibe they were going for, Latino vibe they were going for. But seeing it in front of you, you're like, dude, this works. This actually, honestly, I like this better than the regular Atlantis. Because the regular Atlantis is just Atlantis. It's the typical Atlantis stuff, a Triton, it's the typical shit. You know Atlantis. Atlantis is the same fucking thing all the time. Just slight changes here and there, but it's fucking Atlantis. But Talocan is different, because when you add that Aztecian, Mesoamerican, spin to it, you add an entire texture, an entire culture, a different vibe, a different language, a different, everything. And Namor's outfit, especially when he's got the huge fucking piece on, is just gorgeous. And Turman, I can't ever say his name right. Turman Huerta. I hope I said his name right the best of my abilities. Did an amazing job as Namor. One of my favorite MCU characters off the rip. Like, he's different than comic book Namor. Comic book Namor is an asshole. He's arrogant. He's pompous. He's an asshole. He's holier than thou. He's sure he loves his people intensely, but he can just be kind of a prickly dick sometimes. This version of Namor isn't like that. This version of Namor is not like that. Sorry. This version of Namor isn't like that. This version of Namor is a compassionate leader. Someone who cares deeply and intensely about his people. But he's a Namor whose fear, anger, whose fear and anger has clouded him, consumed him, so to speak. Because unlike in the comics, for the most part, like, Atlanteans' beef with the upper world is, you guys are polluting our waters, and, you guys have either A, you guys are polluting our waters, or B, you guys are coming after us directly. That's their beef. That's Namor's beef with the surface world. Usually, it's some bullshit like Atuma, who we'll see how that goes. Atuma told him a lie about the surface world. He snapped. He's like, we're gonna destroy the surface world. Usually it's some bullshit. Namor doesn't usually have an actual good reason to come after the surface world. He's just being an asshole. But here, first of all, they kept Namor aging forever. Or they kept his long life around. I mean, Namor is he's a couple hundred years old. In the comics, he's a couple hundred years old. In the comics, he's fighting next to Captain America and shit. But here, he's even old. He might be even older in this than he is in the comics. I mean, let me think, it was he's old enough where the conquistadors were showing up and, enslaving people, man. That's how old he is. He was there. I mean, he's muskets old. He's older than he's muskets old. Even older than that. So it's Namor, he's an older character. And one of the things, and the only things he's ever seen on the surface world is his people being enslaved and awful things. So in his mind, not only are they better than the surface world, but he's the surface world are nothing but barbarians and brutal, and he has these notions about them, and he knows in his heart that if anyone in the surface ever found out about them, they would do something to them. They would enslave them. They would come for them. They would come for their resources. And they're right. In many ways, Talocan and Wakanda are almost mirror images of each other. They really are. And in many ways too, Namor he's like Killmonger if Killmonger actually was fighting for something other than himself. If Killmonger was fighting for a group of people, then you would get a little bit like Namor. And he's like I say, he's a calm, compassionate dude. I can't believe they pulled off the wings on his feet. That was cool. The way they even did it was cool. He was a bad motherfucker. I mean, there's a certain scene where he punches M'Baku in the chest and you're like, oh shit. Man, Namor worked so much better. I'm so happy I got to see him on the big screen. There are characters, now all I need is the Question. I think the Question is the only character that on my list of characters I got to see on the big screen that I haven't seen yet is the Question. I need the Question right now, and I'll be happy. Anywho, this movie, like I say, I don't want to spoil anything, but this movie is legit. I give Black Panther Wakanda Forever 9 out of 10. Great movie. Had a blast with it. I didn't even notice the 2 hours. And you gotta understand, people, I went to this movie prepared for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna drink my drink. I literally bought a drink and I was like, I'm not gonna finish this thing because I don't want to miss anything and I don't want to have to piss. Didn't even notice it. Movie flew fucking by. I didn't notice it. I didn't. And it's fucking mind-blowing. That's great movie telling. That's great storytelling. When I don't notice it, I noticed it. I noticed the time in Eternals. I noticed the time in fucking Black Adam. I noticed the time in The Batman. I did not notice the time in this movie. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment below and let me know. What did you think of Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment below and let me know. I had a blast. Anyways, thank you guys again. See you on the next one.